Hello, welcome back to OmniFoot TV. This is your Snowmer speaking, and today's second video, or tonight's second upload of the night, will be about Luis Enrique moving to PSG. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The possession-based football tactician who led Barcelona to their last treble has crossed the pond from Spain to France and will take over as Paris Saint-Germain's new manager. Is this a move I welcome? Heck no! Do I think that this is a good move for him as a manager? Heck no. Have I heard people echo the same sentiment? Yes. Do I, however, think that this proves that PSG, or that the people behind PSG, the people behind closed doors, the people behind the curtains, the puppet masters, so to speak, engineer things in a way that proves without a shadow of a doubt that they have the kind of credibility and pull factor, or pull power, or just pull, that brings in whoever they need, despite how badly they've managed to do on a continental stage? Yes, that's where this becomes a little odd for me. PSG have been on the hunt for a Champions League trophy for seasons after seasons after seasons, years after years. It's been insufferable. And I say insufferable because I really hope they don't win it. But they've been doing very good business. They always seem to do very good business, apart from destroying the transfer market and all we hold dear by purchasing Neymar back in, it varies. But the thing is, they keep doing business at a very high level. They pick out good players. They buy the players they need. They somehow seem to get the players they need all the time, despite the fact that these players are hunted by, or targeted by clubs playing in better leagues, offering better opportunities. I have never really gotten why PSG are appealing to certain people in terms of players or managers. I don't seem to understand why the job is a hot seat. I don't seem to understand why players of a high caliber seem to envision or see themselves wearing that red and blue jersey as though it were to equate a form of success in the world of football unlike any other. Because to me, PSG just don't do it. This club has somehow managed to convince a very good manager, a manager who has won a treble at Barcelona despite a very short stint at the helm, which is, by the way, his only proper club-based experience as a manager, who's managed the Spanish national team and left. Also, I don't really think he should have left, just to be fair. He was out of a job for a while, for obvious reasons. And now, lo and behold, Paris. I look at this and think that PSG's negotiation skills, the people behind the scenes, the people who puppeteer the whole thing, who micro-engineer the details that make up the bedrock of this club, be it on a financial level or in terms of the presentation, the overall presentation of the club to the fans, to the media, to the people, etc., that they know how to persuade the people they need. This move could either make or break Luis Enrique. Although I do believe that he could do well, I also think that his credibility could very well be on the line if he doesn't achieve the kind of success the club expects from him and the kind of success he wants to achieve. I have mixed feelings about this, as you all can obviously tell. I don't know if I want him to do so well, not necessarily for his own sake, but for PSG's sake. And at the same time, I don't know if him succeeding at PSG would necessarily be considered success. They practically own Ligue 1. Competition in that league has been very difficult to find. Any kind of competition has been few and far between. Very few clubs have managed to usurp PSG's rule over France. And at the same time, they have one of the most hostile fan bases I think I've ever seen on a European level, in terms of, clubs at the top level. Because Europe does have quite the bad eggs in terms of fan bases. Now, I do believe personally that this is not the kind of move Luis Enrique could have made. I think he could have gone to another league, gone to another club. I'm not necessarily I'm not saying this as though I have a league in mind or a club in mind. Off the top of my head, he could have easily gone back to La Liga. Maybe he could have easily gone back to La Liga. I'm not necessarily sure. But the Premier League could have been a very good destination. That's if a job had been open, or maybe Italy even. That could have been interesting to see him in Italy. To see him in the Bundesliga, I doubt would have been the case, but to see him in Italy could have been interesting. And once again, I do I do think that this is interesting. Again, I emphasize this and I kind of jump back to this point because maybe to him, this was the only viable and appealing move in the market. Maybe to him, and I'm sure he had a good couple of options. He felt like, okay, this club is going to listen to everything I have to say. They're going to get me the players I need. They will allow me to do the work I want to do, the work I am convinced is the best kind, in order to yield the results that they have been searching for years. We don't really know how people negotiate behind closed doors. Let's just put it out there. As fans, we read the headlines and imagine. We allow our minds to go to these strange crevices in the back of our heads, thinking that we have some sort of idea as to how these things are meant to go, or are meant in general, by the people behind the scenes, and be it the negotiator or the person listening on the other side. Now, I feel that maybe my previous point is correct. Maybe the fact that he moved there is proof that the club is actually flexible enough to give Enrique the kind of assurances that he requires, and that's the only reason he took the job. You can make the argument that that's the only thing a manager ever needs, the kind of assurances that he requires, agreed to, printed out in ink, and signed. And it raises the question. If he's going to have everything he needs set up in front of him, what will it mean if he fails? And second question, what will it mean if he succeeds? And what will that success be like? What will constitute success? These are all questions I think everyone has on their mind. These are questions I have on my mind. These are questions that I think are the most valid of this move, are the most important of this decision. And I'd like to think we'll get an answer to any one of them. Maybe even all of them at the same time. You never know. Football is a very interesting game nowadays. It's become very touch and go. Let's just see what kind of time he's going to need, the players he's going to get, how well they're going to play, if they're going to embody his school of thought as well on the pitch, and how that will translate to the fan base as well, because you're going to want the fan base to take to it, right? You're going to want the fan base to believe in what he's doing and what these players are doing, in how they're presenting themselves, and how he's changed the way they present themselves to the fans, and how he's changed their mentality. That's if he does achieve that. And I do believe that he will be able to do that, to a huge extent, no less. But to me, it's just one big question, How far will he take them? And maybe you guys have more insight to that than I do if you are PSG fans. And if you are watching this as PSG supporters, please go ahead and let me know what you think. If you agree with anything I've said or disagree, comment section is open for a healthy dose of discourse. Like this video if you haven't already and you've enjoyed the content. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here. And hit that bell notifications button because I upload on a daily basis. That's it for today's video, today's second video. Thank you for tuning in once again and for listening to me just think out loud. I hope it's benefited you guys in any way, shape, or form, and I hope this starts a healthy conversation on the matter because I'm really interested in seeing or hearing or just reading how people are taking this. And that's it for tonight. Thank you for tuning in once again, and I will see you next time the whistle blows. Cheers, everyone.